Welcome back to Peek into COS. Today, Lisa Neener and Mike Peterson are here from the U.S. Air Force Academy, where there are many exciting things coming up soon. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
It's great to have you both here. We've got a lot to cover today, but I always like to begin with our guests and letting the audience know a little bit more about your backgrounds. And so, Lisa, why don't we start with you and tell people a little bit about how you got to the Air Force Academy.
Awesome.
After a great career.
Yeah, thank you. I had the pleasure of flying for the Air Force for 23 years and ended up landing myself in the Strategic Communications Office, where now I oversee the visitor experience, which includes the planetarium, the new Hosmer Visitor Center as we transition from the Goldwater. We work events and special VIP events, specific tours for potential interactions for cadets and that type of thing.
So yeah, you have a great title. You are the Chief of the Visitor Experience, right, at the Air Force Academy?
Yes.
There's probably more things to it, but when people ask me, what does Lisa Neener do? I said, well, she makes sure that when you come through those gates, that the experience is a great one.
We sure try.
Yeah, okay, great. Mike, how about you?
Yeah, so I flew as well in the Air Force. I stayed in a little longer, 29 years. Had a great career. Actually started here at the Air Force Academy as an 18-year-old back in, 1983. Went through the academy.
Yeah.
Cycled back through as an instructor, as a young captain, and then my last stop for good in Colorado Springs was 10 years ago when I retired. So we moved back here. Funny story, I actually, Lisa was standing up our strategic communications office back about 10 years ago and helped set up my interview.
Ah, okay.
And when she was still in uniform, and I was fortunate enough to get hired to be the chief of the outreach division.
Yep.
And then, ironically, a few years later, she was out of uniform, and I got to hire her.
That's great.
We go way back. It's great.
That's great. Well, and I think you both know that I come from an Air Force family as it relates to my mom's side of the family. My mom was in public affairs,
Nice.
for 17 years she was at the Pentagon. Her final job was she was the curator of the Air Force art collection.
Oh, wow.
She had over
I didn't realize that.
she had over 6,000 pieces of art that she rotated over amongst bases, and my mom, probably 2-3 years ago, they started the Public Affairs Hall of Fame, and my mom was the only female inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I said, Mom, that's a really great honor. She said, yeah, me and a bunch of dead generals, right? I said, okay, Mom, I got the picture. But for years, my mom, we were very, very much a civil service Air Force family in Washington. And so, yeah, she was very excited when her son moved to Colorado Springs and got to be near the academy. So that was kind of cool. Well, one of the big reasons that we're here today, we're doing this recording in May of 2026. This will be evergreen going forward, but we are, the collective we, are about to open the new Hosmer Visitor Center at the Air Force Academy. And so let's talk about how that project came to be and what's going to be exciting about it. Mike, you want to?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I remember when I first got here back in 2017, I had heard a little bit about the initiative that even predated me, maybe you as well.
Yeah.
I know there were efforts to try to build a new visitor center that didn't succeed. And then finally, the initiative came up again. Some companies competed.
Yep.
And a company managed to get the finances together as part of that enhanced use lease outside the North Gate, those 57 acres. And then we were off and running. COVID almost did the whole project in.
Isn't that the truth?
It kind of tanked the bond market a little bit, but thankfully the developer survived and raised the money, and then the hotel came up. And that was not long after that, the shell of the visitor center came up as well. So
there was a time when this was originally not bid, but applied for to the state, that there was talk about moving, well, they wanted the visitor center outside the gates because for security reasons, ever since 9/11, attendance had gone down. People would get to the gate and realize there were big security measures or they'd have to get, and they didn't want to do that. And then I remember that there was one point in time when they talked about moving it to be part of the Falcon Stadium renovation.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then it obviously would have been inside the gate. And I remember having discussions. It's a little strange to look at a superintendent and say, hey, who am I to suggest that that I know better than you, or that but this was approved, and initially the numbers were set that it would not require people to come on to the base, come on to the academy grounds, that you could pull off I-25 and do what you do. And so we're really excited that it did in fact end up where it did, outside the North Gate. Lisa, you have played a big part in this since you arrived in your position, and let's talk a little bit about what you see. Maybe let's start with the visitor experience of what people can expect when this building opens in a few weeks.
Of course, and if I may touch a little bit on getting there is obviously a lot easier. It's exit 156B, I think, off of the interstate, just on the west side of Northgate and I-25, across from Hotel Polaris. And in less than 2 weeks now, a week from Saturday, we're having the grand opening. So if I can talk a little bit about that grand opening.
Yeah, May 16th.
Yes, it's coming quick. The train is moving full steam ahead, but we're gonna have a celebration. We're gonna have a great celebration. We're gonna be open regular hours, 9 to 5, but the celebration portion takes place largely from 10 until 2 p.m.
Okay.
We're going to have a glider static out there. We'll have some other cadet clubs like the Wings of Blue, a cappella. We're also going to have the Air Force Academy Band Blue Delta out there rocking out. We're going to have some food trucks. So really just looking forward to celebrating, having a good time as people get to go in the doors. And again, it's outside the North Gate. You don't have to have a background check. You don't have to have your car searched. It's just a lot more accessible, and we're really excited to share this with the community.
That's great. You know, there's so many different directions we could go, and I think a little bit about maybe listeners who don't know how long the Air Force Academy has even been in Colorado Springs. I mean, that was here we are about to celebrate the opening of another great building there, and yet the Academy has been a part of Colorado Springs now since the late 50s, early 60s. Right.
We talk about that inside the galleries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can touch on that a little bit.
Sure.
So, of course, the first Academy class was 1959. We're the youngest of the service academies.
Right.
I know when we visited West Point, in their gift shop, we saw a West Point sweatshirt that said 18 whatever, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's old. We're not that old. But the actual academy started up in Denver at Lowry, and so the first class spent 3 years up there, and then they came down for their final year at the academy while construction was being tightened up a little bit. But as far as visitor centers go, I remember back in 1983 when I came out here, it was a little trailer down a dirt road on the south gate was it.
That was it, huh?
Yeah, and then the current one, the Barry Goldwater Visitor Center, opened in 1986.
Okay.
So that's
And that's back near that big box?
Yeah, that big box that we call the chapel.
The chapel. Oh, that's what it is. The chapel in a box.
Chapel in a box. And that's tucked behind a mountain. Again, even when we had base access for everyone, it was kind of hard to find. But it did serve us well for 40 years. But it's tired, it's dated, and so we were definitely ready for a new one. Piggyback on what Lisa was saying, this project is it's been a lot of fun. We've had the real great pleasure to work with a company called Gallagher and Associates for the last 4 years, and folks may not know it, but They did the World War II Museum in New Orleans, the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, and they even did the Olympic and Paralympic Museum downtown here
Exactly,
in Colorado Springs.
exactly
They've
right.
done some great work, and it's been so much fun working with them. They've
Yeah.
been so creative, and I think people will really like what they see when they walk in the doors.
I don't think there's any underestimating that when the Olympic and Paralympic Museum opened and people from the academy saw it and
Yeah.
went through it and experienced and realized the bar has been set very high, that you couldn't be part of the City for Champions projects and be the final one
Yep.
to open and not have something that is best in class. And so we've always applauded the pressure, and yet how you all just rose up to see this. So maybe let's talk about this. I mean, I had not really done the math before, but I do now understand that it is a 47-month journey from the day you arrive as a cadet until the day you graduate, right? And so Lisa, let's talk a little bit about what people can experience and what they're going to learn when they come in.
Absolutely. So when they come in, they get a little bit of the history of what Mike touched on as far as the introduction of the Air Force Academy into the Colorado Springs community. But then they also get a little bit of the history, the founding fathers, and then they walk in to Gallery 2, and magically they're looking at themselves in a reflection and hearing the code of conduct, the oath of office, and hearing that from cadet voices. And they can have a moment to have that reflection and think to themselves, is this oh my, is this called to me? Is this, I'm seeing myself in this calling right now. And then they start the journey as they go up the ramp into Gallery 3, which is the nuts and bolts of the Air Force Academy 47-month journey. And it takes you through basic cadet training. It takes you through the 40 squadrons. It takes you through the different uniforms that they might wear, a dorm room. And even just showing the campus and how spread out it is, to how far a cadet might walk in a day, and the construction, the structure of every minute of their time in the schedule of calls.
Yeah.
And so they can see what a day in the life is. And then we go into another gallery where they get to have videos. We have 7 giant screens, which is really neat. Each video is about 2.5 minutes, and we'll show academics, athletics, military training, and the future fight in there, and they can see that in a very creative manner. I won't spoil it.
Okay, yeah, right.
Because there's some real beauty that I don't want to spoil in talking about it, because people really need to see it with their own eyes.
Sure.
But ultimately they end up in the final gallery, which is a call to service. This is where you can go on your journey in the Air Force. The long blue line talks about legacy and the service, and maybe some different careers they might be interested in with different interests. And then, of course, if they're interested, then they can go check out the admissions website and see what it takes. But ultimately, when I spoke with the primary donor, he really wanted this to be a call to service in all aspects. Some people can't go into the military. Some people might not be able to go into the Air Force Academy. But ultimately, he wanted to appeal to people to have a life of service.
Yeah. All right, here's a question that you're not expecting. I'm going to ask you both. Mike, I'll start with you. What age were you when you decided that you wanted to go into the Air Force and go to the academy?
That's a great question. So going way back in time, pre-internet, pre-all technology, that's back when we had college catalogs. I mean, an actual physical catalog. My sister was out west on some trip, happened to pass through Colorado Springs, picked up a catalog, brought it home. I was probably 16. I'm thumbing through it. I grew up in Ohio, so I didn't know anything about Colorado. Never been out here. And I thought, this looks kind of nice. The mountains are attractive, and look how sharp these cadets are. Came out for a visit when I was 17, just after my junior year. Kind of got hooked at that point and started the application process. I mean, I just fell in love with the place, but didn't really know what I was getting into. I mean, at that point, again, now you can go to the internet, you can,
Right.
you can watch videos, you can learn an awful lot about.
But your sister
She got it started. Yeah,
came with
maybe she just wanted me to leave the state or something. I don't know, but
Now, Lisa, you did not graduate from the academy, but you had a full career in the Air Force. What was your decision? When did that happen for you?
It was pretty early. I knew when I was about 9 years old that I wanted to fly.
Wow.
That's
I'm not the biggest person, so it took me. I'm a little vertically challenged, so it took me a little bit to meet that qualification.
Right.
But I was going to fly, and I was going to fly in the military. The Air Force was my calling from a very early age. I did take a different route through commissioning.
Yeah.
No regrets there because I met my husband of 26 years. But that's how my journey started, very early on with a passion for aviation.
Yeah, I love that. And I wanted people to hear those stories because everybody's journey is a little bit different. But I happen to believe that two of our projects, the City for Champions, are projects that can inspire young people. And this Hosmer Visitor Center, to the donors' wish, is exactly that I could see a young Lisa Neener or a young Mike Peterson walking through there. And what I think people will get a kick out of is when they get to that final gallery and you realize there is a QR code.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, there is a call to service right here
Right there.
if you want to be, to begin the application process. Yeah. But I also think that at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum, that there are young people that can go through there. I mean, you could do this in a day. Mm-hmm. You could come from the academy and come to downtown Colorado Springs and go through these two iconic buildings as a young person and say, I want to go to the Air Force and I want to be an Olympian or a Paralympian. Yes. And I mean, where dreams come true. So I think this city, it's part of what makes it a special place to live. And I love it when people hear get to tell their stories. And I get to, for the last several years, I've had a chance to interview cadets in October for the congressman who have applied to all the service academies. And it is my favorite Saturday of the year. I get reinvigorated hearing the stories of why do you want to go to Annapolis or West Point or come here to Colorado Springs or go to the Coast Guard. And there are a lot of young people who still want to serve our country, and it's very, very reassuring. And I think this building will accomplish a lot for us. And I think people also need to know that you end up in a world-class gift shop, which happens at all good museums.
Right.
You want to talk about Fanatics?
Yeah, so, and it is world-class. I mean, they've been building it out for the last several weeks, and they're going to be ready to go for next week. And everybody wants to go in there and grab something to take with them, right?
Yeah.
And it literally is right after, like Lisa said, Gallery 7 is that call to service gallery, and then, man, they're fired up. So they're going to go right through the doors of that store, and who knows what.
and listeners will also see that there is a walkway that connects across the highway, across the street, to go over to the Hotel Polaris.
Correct.
And so, from an experience standpoint, you've got everything you can do there at the Hosmer Visitor Center, and then from a food and beverage standpoint and everything else, we've just got this fabulous combination. We've known that I think personally one of the roles that the Visitor Center is going to play is the millions of people that go up and down I-25 that really have not had a reason to stop. Right. And all of a sudden when signage is telling you that there's a visitor center coming and people are thinking, oh, we can get a map and go to the bathroom and all those things, and then find out through it, this is a state welcome center. And so there will be kiosks there, and there's going to be information for people to know whether you're going north or south, all the types of things there are to do in the Pikes Peak region. And whether it's on this trip or your next trip, we will be able to talk about itineraries and things that will make it, really special. So
The graphics are going in right now as we speak.
Are they?
The
Good.
Colorado tourism graphics.
The big
Can't
map.
wait.
Big
Yeah.
map,
Beautiful.
yeah.
We're the second center to have the new rebranded graphics. So very excited.
I love
Had
that.
to get that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fired up.
Yeah. Let's, the Academy has, there's lots of public events that go on throughout the year. People who might be planning to come, they might know about fall football weekends and things like that. But let's talk a little bit about some of the things that people can do during their visit to the U.S. Air Force Academy.
Yeah.
So
Go for it.
I'll touch on the
Sure.
first one that comes to mind, and it was renovated, right before COVID, as our planetarium. Mm-hmm. It's a little IMAX theater. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's fabulous.
It's absolutely free. We have school groups in there almost every day of the week, buses lined up, and then shows for the public as well.
Yep.
And even with some restricted base access, you can still go online, enter your information, and get cleared to come on to the installation.
Okay.
And we have a huge lineup of movies, whether it's Star related or World War II related, or you name it. We have quite a lineup, and so that's a big draw. And I think folks are just going to continue
Sure.
to explore and discover that.
Yeah.
At the Academy.
There's some concerts happening,
Yep.
summer of 26 and fall.
I have my tickets.
Do you have it?
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars,
Yep.
he's coming in September.
Added a second show. It was so popular.
Yeah,
Sold out quick.
and since this year is America's 250 and Colorado 150, I know there's a Space Cowboy event that is going to feature Tim McGraw.
That's coming up June 20th, I
June
believe.
June the 20th,
Yeah.
I know. So there are things happening at the Academy that are a little non-traditional that people don't necessarily think of happening there. I mean, I know there have been concerts in the past, but to have two big headlining acts anchoring the summer and the fall this year is pretty exciting.
It is, yeah. We hope that just continues to increase in frequency. It seems like it will. And Doug, you mentioned football, which is phenomenal, and in our office likes to
Sure.
work those games.
Sure.
But there's other sporting events too where you can get access, whether it's basketball or hockey.
Sure.
Lots of opportunities to get on there, and then the summers are packed.
Yeah, with camps.
Sports camps, kids from all over the country coming out for
Yeah.
soccer and lacrosse, and yeah, we're looking forward to that because that new visitor center, they're all going to stop.
Yeah, yeah. And for those who haven't been aware, I mentioned earlier this Hotel Polaris. The Hotel Polaris has been open a little over a year now. And so if for people who have not come to the north end of Colorado Springs lately, when you put your trip together, you're going to see this Ford amphitheater, and I mean, an 8,000 seat outdoor venue right at the same exit. And the amount of retail and restaurants and shopping that's all been and attractions that are up there, from Top Golf there are just lots of things that I have said the north end of the Springs has become kind of a destination in and of itself. There's hotels, there's all kinds of places to stay, and I do think that this Hosmer Visitor Center is going to really help people know, oh my gosh, I had no idea all the things that there are to do. You all play a key role in the community. I mean, it is a college, it is a university in that regard, with over 4,000 cadets. And talk about the role as an outreach
Sure.
that you all play in the Colorado Springs community.
Yeah, I'll touch on a little of it, and then I can let Lisa jump in.
Sure.
I was just reading about this recently, because we know our cadets are out in the community doing volunteer service. They don't have a ton of free time, but when they do, I know they love to serve. And it was interesting, in the last 10 years, they've had 30,000 hours doing volunteer work across 43 different organizations in the community, Red Cross, Parks and Rec, Food Bank, just to name a few. And so they're out there, you'll see them. And they love to get out there and work in the community. But then we also have people might not know about this in Colorado Springs. We need to do a better job probably, but the cadet sponsor program is kind of a big
right.
deal.
Yep.
And it's not just for military families. You know, we love to give families in the community the opportunity. Funny story, that's kind of how I met my wife.
Yeah.
Her parents live on the south side of town, and that was sort of my second sponsor family. So I ended up marrying my sponsor's daughter. I'm not saying that's why you need to become a sponsor,
Right.
but
I didn't know that. That's
you
good.
never know, right?
Yeah.
But it's a great opportunity for the community to sort of adopt a cadet
Yes.
and give them a home away from home. And so cadets, you'll see them at worship services all over town.
Yeah.
We're really hopeful later this summer to kind of reinvigorate our honorary commander program to give community leaders the chance to partner up with our senior leaders and do reciprocal visits up to the academy and then back down to the community. We're going to get that going again. We had a little manning struggle, but I think we'll be healthy again later this summer, and we'll be able to get that going.
That would be
lots
wonderful.
of opportunities, I think, with the academy.
What would you add, Lisa, to the community outreach piece?
I would add that it's mutual, and so I get the opportunity to sit down on the Visit Colorado Springs Board of Directors and have a good pulse for what's happening in the community. And then we're also going to have, as part of our staff in the Hosmer Visitor Center, we will have a Visit Colorado Springs person who's going to be a brand ambassador for the Air Force Academy and serve that role for a little while, helping us stand up this community, this iconic facility that's going to welcome everybody. So it's kind of neat to have that embedded into what we do, because it's not typical. And so I think, again, being outside of the gate has really opened up the doors to a lot more opportunity for those mutually beneficial and service-related activities.
When I got to be an honorary commander with Chief Sparks,
She's great.
Sarah, we just loved working with her. We had this little inside joke about, Chief, we need to get you south of Woodman.
Yes.
I need you and General Clark, I need you to come downtown. And she was so game. She said, Doug, you're right. We get into this cocoon, we're up what we do up here, and yet we are a big part of the community. And if Second Lieutenant Quentin Keyes is listening at some point, we were his sponsor family for 4 years, and he's up at the University of Wisconsin in Madison now on his master's program.
Excellent.
And someday may come back and teach history or something at the academy, but what a great 4 years that was for us to have Quinn and, you know, as part of our family adopted here in Colorado Springs. Well, as we begin to get towards the end here, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor for this episode, and it's the United We Rock Festival taking place at Rockledge Ranch on August 1st. The event promises to be an unforgettable afternoon of live music, local flavors, and hands-on Western fun. As the U.S. celebrates its 250th birthday and Colorado hits 150, this milestone party is one you won't want to miss. So mark your calendars and get ready to enjoy everything from jazz and Americana to bluegrass and dance music on August 1st, United We Rock. Now, we have a tradition at the end of this program to ask a question of our listeners, that our listeners can learn from. And Lisa, I'm going to start the first question with you, and you'll get to do the same question, Mike. Lisa, how would you describe Colorado Springs in 3 words?
Ooh, that is a tough one. Dynamic, welcoming, and refreshing.
Dynamic, welcoming, and refreshing. Okay, Mike?
Ooh, pressure's on. I mean, right from the start when I came here as an 18-year-old, beautiful.
Yep.
Love the outdoors, so I would say active.
Yep.
And friendly.
And friendly.
Love the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely
good.
love the people.
All right, let's stay there with you and talk about what is your favorite hidden gem in the Pikes Peak region? Where do you like to go just to collect your thoughts? And
probably won't pick one specific trail, but there's so many that you can hike on here.
Yeah.
In the Pikes Peak area, whether you want to hike or mountain bike. But I mean, obviously, when I was younger, I actually hiked up and down Pikes Peak,
Yeah.
which was amazing.
Yeah.
That's a full day.
That is a full day.
And that was phenomenal.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Pikes Peak, sure.
Yeah.
Lisa?
Literally my backyard. I just go to my Zen place and I can look at Pikes Peak, and then we also have some hiking trails behind the house, and it's just so peaceful and beautiful. And my husband and I usually take a selfie with Pikes Peak in the background. And,
Yeah.
it's definitely our calming,
Yeah.
refreshing place to go.
How blessed are you? Isn't that
It's
great?
so great. Love it.
That's wonderful. Do you have something, Lisa, still on your bucket list that you have not done in the Pikes Peak region?
Oh my gosh, I haven't done. It's kind of embarrassing.
That's okay.
I haven't done the incline.
You haven't done the incline. There's a lot of people that will admit that there's something that's kind of obvious, but you've not done the incline.
I've not done it.
Okay.
The rest of my family has done it, and
Yeah.
I am the one holder
You're
outer.
the holder outer.
Yes.
Is it something you'd like to do?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Wait
we've
till the
now
weather's a
let
little
the public
settled.
know that
You're under the gun.
You're under the
I'm
gun.
under pressure.
This will come up
Gotta
at
do
the
it.
September board meeting, so we'll
Okay.
ask you. Right.
Got it.
Mike, how about you?
I've done it once.
Yeah.
So I check that box. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's so many things I haven't done in the area. You know what? I'd say probably just the restaurants. Let's talk about.
Oh,
that
yeah,
for a second.
sure.
There's so many I haven't been to, especially in the downtown area.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 5 minutes from downtown.
Yeah.
And we keep trying to hit as many as we can. but
Okay.
there's just so many more. I need to hit it. I need
It's
to get there.
really exploded, right? Well, okay. So as we wrap, one of the things that I want people to hear from you all, the experts at the Academy on this, is access to the base. Sometimes it can change.
Mm-hmm.
It could change today, okay, based on world events and things like that. When people, what resource would you point people to say, hey, can we get on the base and drive and see things, or how do people know what access is like?
I'm happy to answer
Sure.
that. I would recommend folks go to our website and literally Google USAFA visit. Takes you to the website.
Okay.
If you go to the Hosmer Visitor Center website once we're up and running, right now it says for the Goldwater, we say there's an area that talks about base access. We have all of the latest information. Right now there's actually a QR code that can get you onto base. You can pre-register for your background check. And it's actually good for a month.
Okay.
So you can come check out the trails, check out the planetarium. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry. And then we'll keep it up to date.
Yep.
We're planning on continuing that with the opening of the Hosmer Visitor Center. Trying to think of what else. That'll help get you on base for the planetarium and access to the trails, the different ponds, that type
Sure.
of thing. But we'll keep it up to date with whatever the
Sure.
current base access requirements
Okay.
are. It could be shut down in a moment's notice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually not quite sure how that affects the Hosmer Visitor Center yet. That might be a work in progress, and we'll be learning as we go, because technically it is a government building.
Yes.
But we are outside the gate, so I would anticipate that we will stay open.
Right.
But again, go to the website for the latest information.
Great. Now, I would not be doing my job on behalf of the public if I didn't ask about the chapel. Because
Right.
you know it's been closed for a long time, and I would love for you all to, because you get asked this question, what do you tell people when you believe the Air Force Academy Chapel will be open again to the public?
Sure. So the latest update, and I think it's probably pretty accurate, is that it'll be open in late 28, so we still have a couple more years.
Yep.
But the box may come off in early 28.
In early
So you'll
28.
see it again.
The Christmas present will open, and
We're hoping it's still under there, right?
yes.
But
It might be a magic trick.
yeah,
Yeah.
it could be the world's best magic trick. Box comes up, nothing there. Box goes down, comes up again, and there it is.
There it
So,
is.
No, it's coming along. They're putting it all back together, and
That's
it'll be
wonderful.
identical to the way it was before. It just
Yeah.
won't leak. So
It just won't,
won't
leak.
leak, but,
That's right. Well, all right. So to wrap it, let's give the URL address for the academy and just where everybody can get information on all they want to know about our Air Force Academy. Where do they go to?
You could start with usafa.edu.
usafa.edu.
Yep, absolutely. And then there are tabs within it to go to the visitor center to see the campus. There's virtual tours. There's the driving tour.
Yeah.
So there's still quite a bit that you can see and do.
Right.
So that's where that's the landing page.
Okay.
And go explore from there.
Great.
And then you can also go, and that's a great spot to start. And you can go to USAFA admissions,
Admissions. Okay.
and you can start learning how to apply.
Right.
And certainly learn a lot more about the academy and
Sure.
its mission and all the opportunities and things like that.
But come visit us. I just want to personally thank you both. We've been partners in crime here for quite some time as it relates to just working together. You know, Lisa, we've had you on our board. We go back to when we had Brian Bin on our board, and Kimberly Tabrugi, and we've had the relationships. Lori Wilson, I just so many people that I've had the pleasure and honor to work with at the academy, and this journey to get this visitor center open is really a dream come true for so many people. But I know you have lived it and breathed it, and it's been great working with you on it.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
We're excited.
Yeah, we are. Great. Okay, well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.